Welcome back. The 7 volumes of Sasegbon's Judicial Dictionary of Nigerian Law, compiled by late legal scholar Deji Sasegbon, has been launched to the public 3 years after he passed on. We have highlights of what transpired at the event up next.
You find in your hand...
Deji Sasegbon, fondly called D-Shash by his friends, colleagues and family members, is a giant in the legal profession.
You find something...
It's therefore easy to understand why so many respected legal practitioners converged on Lagos 3 years after his death for the official book launch in his memory.
National Merit Award.
The chairman of the occasion, former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Wole Olanipekun, gives us a brief insight into the character of the man being celebrated here.
What I want to say, without any equivocation, that Deji Sasegbon is equivalent of William Blackstone. Let me put it on the flip side, that he is our own, or he was our own, and you don't use past tense for someone like Deji Sasegbon, because his works speak even in death. As somebody will be corrected, if there has been any Nigerian lawyer who has been as prodigious, who has been as illustrious, who has been as painstaking in going into the minutest details, in bringing into the fore the nitty-gritty of our laws, the heartbeat, knocking at the heartbeat of the laws of Nigeria, bringing them from their graves and publishing them. How do we count? Where do we start counting? Is it the judgment, the Nigerian Supreme Court cases? Are we talking of karma? A lot of people here have made humongous money from the publications of Deji Sasegbon on karma.
Indeed, the legal icon is well known for his landmark works. Sasegbon published over 80 volumes of law books in his lifetime. Against the background of the cry for more made in Nigeria works, the book reviewer, Professor Koinsola Ajayi SAN, describes the latest book, Sasegbon's Judicial Dictionary of Nigerian Law, as a treasure trove, the dream book of a legal practitioner, and the realization of a common goal for common good.
Sasegbon's Judicial Dictionary entails numerous engagements with different branches of the law, reviewing it as an entire body of known laws that we have, traversing what appears to be a world in which there seems to be some disorder, and bringing all together, creating order out of disorder as if he was himself God. You find in your hand with this book a compilation on words, phrases, themes, and terms. And you find something that will be useful for legislators, for regulators, for mediators, for arbiters, for courts, and even men of commerce. Because in our hands is now a Quran or a Bible.
Vice President Professor Yemi Oshibajo says he was there at the beginning of Sasegbon's journey into legal publication. He gives a peep into how it all started.
Very early in the 80s, I believe it was about 1983 or so, when he conceived of the idea of the Nigeria Supreme Court cases, he shared the vision with a few of us, his friends. He wanted to be the first to publish a full report of all Nigerian Supreme Court cases, all Supreme Court decisions, a comprehensive report of all Nigerian Supreme Court decisions. Eventually, Chief Ganifa SAN, of blessed memory, got into that same race with him So it really was a race between Deji and Chief Arimi, who would be the first to publish his comprehensive compendium of all of Nigeria's Supreme Court cases. He shared the vision with such passion, and you simply couldn't resist agreeing to work on the project with him. Deji won that race as he won so many others, and the NCC became the first comprehensive report of all Nigerian Supreme Court cases. And this is the way that he worked on all his publications. So much diligence, so much dedication.
As you know, my husband passed away in 2016. And for over 3 years before he became ill, he had been working so passionately on this project. I know how much it meant to him. And after he passed, it was my sole goal to make sure that the work he had so tirelessly worked on came to light. It was so very important to us as a family.
Deji Sasegbon graduated from the Law Faculty of the University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, in 1979. He was called to the bar in 1980. He took silk in 2004. He made his mark as a prosecutor after spending almost a decade at the Ministry of Justice, Lagos. He left the ministry in 1986 to establish his law firm Deji Sasegbon & Co. and his DSC publications. He passed on at the age of 63 on December 10, 2016, at a Lagos hospital after a brief illness.
And on the home stretch, let's bring you a recap of some of the top trending stories we tracked at the courtrooms.
We begin with the report that the Kano State High Court has nullified the creation of 4 additional emirates in Kano State. The presiding judge, Justice Usman Narba, ruled that the creation of the emirates and subsequent appointment of 4 new first-class emirs did not follow due process. Our former minority leader of the State House of Assembly, Nasiru Mohammed, had earlier in May filed a suit challenging the legality of the appointment of the new emirs and Deposition Law 2910, which led to the creation of 4 additional emirates. From Kano, we move to Abuja, where Federal High Court is set to hear the alleged 2 billion naira fraud case of the former pension reform boss, Abdul Rashid Maina, from day to day. At the last sitting of the court, the defendant counsel, Francis Orasonye, told Justice Okonabang that his client cannot stand trial while the issue of the health status is still a question before the court. He asked the court for an adjournment to enable Mr. Maina seek proper medical attention. Justice Abang granted the request after warning the counsel not to threaten the court or make submission aimed at scaring the court. The judge insisted the counsel could not infer into the health state of the defendant as he is not a medical doctor to ascertain the client's health status. And in Lagos, the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has ordered the final forfeiture to the federal government, the sum of 280.5 million naira traced to Obi-Wan Keke, popularly known as Invictus Obi. Justice Riwan Aikawa made the order of the final forfeiture following the submissions of the EFCC counsel Rotimi Oyedepo that all the requirements for the final forfeiture of the funds have been met. In 2016, 31-year-old Obi was celebrated by Forbes as one of Africa's most outstanding 30 entrepreneurs under the age of 30. Last year, August, he was arrested by the Federal Bureau of Investigation and is currently standing trial in the USA for allegedly defrauding some U.S. citizens in 2018 to the tune of $11 million through fraudulent wire transfer instructions in a massive, coordinated business email compromise scheme. And we round off with a report that another Federal High Court in Lagos has remanded in police custody a businessman, Ifeanyi Okoli, who allegedly imported 120,000 brands of substandard electric cables in 13 containers. Justice Nicholas Oweibo made the order following his arraignment by the Standards Organization of Nigeria (SON) on a 3-count charge of conspiracy and importation of substandard goods. SON alleged that Okoli, aged 34, and a company, Nature's Breeze, conspired to import about 120,000 different brands of substandard electric cables in 13 containers, which did not comply with the Standards Organization of Nigeria mandatory industrial standard before importation. The defendants have, however, pleaded not guilty.
And that's our program this week. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to catch the repeats on air or watch via our YouTube channel. I'm Shola Sheeli. See you next week.